I wanted to talk about YouTube, the wonderful place of YouTube.
Yeah.
So, Allie, you recently had YouTube basically rape you from behind.
Yeah.
What? What is this?
All right.
Hold on.
So, for people that don't know, Allie has a YouTube channel known as Bam Pictures. So, if you can please explain your situation that just happened on your YouTube channel.
Well, I went through this long battle with one of my reviews, and basically the company said, they just decided to block my video after like several months.
Everybody.
Jeez.
And so I disputed the claim, said it was under fair use because, criticism is under fair use. And then not even a day went by, and they decided that they're going to they said, you need to take down your video and that we're going to have a copyright strike against your account, which means and that means I wouldn't be able to upload videos longer than 15 minutes, wouldn't be able to do live streams, monetization, none of that.
They boycotted you, basically.
Basically, I Googled the company, and it turns out that they got on a lot of people on YouTube. Like, they sued people on YouTube, along with Crunchyroll, for uploading, like, Bleach episodes, which they were uploading, like, full-length episodes on YouTube. So it was a completely different situation than I, was going through. But
Yeah, because what you're doing technically is protected under parody. You're allowed. Yeah, you know probably more than I do. But from what I've read up on Stanford, law, website, is that you're essentially allowed to use material if you're essentially creating your own through critique or some sort of parody. It doesn't even have to be funny. It doesn't have to be clever. But if you're like, I guess, what a bunch of cocks.
when I had that dispute, it felt like there was no one on the other side, actually reviewing my video. It felt like a bot, It felt like just, an ID system that just goes by, and if they find one little thing of content, then they just take your video down. So, but it's just like, it got resolved, and it'll always get resolved because it falls under fair use, and they'll never sue a little channel over something like this. But the fact of the matter is that you have to go through several weeks of appealing and waiting for them to get back to you. And during that time, if you always upload videos that are longer than 15 minutes, you can't do anything about it. If you decide to put any content that's not yours into your video, make sure to research first to see if you're covered under fair use and that you have the rights to use that without getting permission or stuff like that. Or you can always go the route of asking the company for permission, but that can be a long thing. Like, don't mess with Disney, don't mess with like companies like that. So I just say that you just try to use as little as possible, and just try to make something your own, and try to fall under the guidelines of fair use, and you should be fine. It's very unlikely that the company will actually sue you over what was being used. So almost always, if you have this problem, it'll get resolved. Mm-hmm. But it's still, you want to try to prevent that from happening because it's just a long, tedious process.
One thing I'll ask you too, by the way, too, like, did you have your monetization enabled pretty much right away, or?
No, I waited. I had to wait for a while. Like, you have to do well. You have to get a certain number of views before you're allowed to monetize. And even though I'm allowed to monetize, I never really do monetize my videos.
Yeah, because I'll be looking at your shit more.
Yeah.
Legally, as long as you're, like you said, if you're doing it under parody or review, you're allowed to monetize.
Right. The way you can do it is that if you dispute it and then you contact YouTube and ask for the claimant's email address and email them, then they will, they'll get back to you and hopefully lift the claim. Which I've done research, and actually Sony's pretty good about lifting the claim.
Because my mom just said, she was like, I was thinking of doing Uber. She wanted to, do it to get extra money. So people starting off doing that job, what advice would you be to them?
Have some money in your account. Always have money in your account, because and don't quit your day job for this, because this job means that you have to work a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean fucking a lot. Uber now is kind of like slowly but surely taking down a lot of fares from the drivers themselves, because they're because they're just getting a number of people like signing up for them.
Yeah.
Part of it, and a good example, if I drive somebody at a short distance, it's $5 even. That's $5 for a ride. They take 20% of that. 20% of the 5 means initially I'm just going to get paid $3.20 out of it. Now think of how much gas I probably had to waste for that. Think of how much time management that is too. That's not really a lot. That would mean I would have to basically do 10 rides just to at least get about over $20 for that. And that's overall. So during the week I'm kind of struggling. On the weekends I should be doing this now, but it's fucking cold outside, so fuck all that shit. It's hard. A 10-mile ride is okay, but I'm probably gonna get paid like $12 or $16 with that. They always want to tell you to like go to certain events and stuff, which is bullshit, because if you ever went through 5 o'clock traffic, you never want to ever do something like that, because it's stressful, it's a pain in the ass, and if you don't like people getting honking at you, then you're not gonna like it either.
Yeah, plus it's a competitive nature, because it's not like, it's a brilliant move. Like, everyone knows to go to a fucking event. It's not like you gotta be told that.
This is probably every conversation I'll probably have with somebody in a special event. Okay, where are you? Okay, I'm right here. Okay, do you see that place? No, I'm right. Oh, no, hold on. I'm right here. Right here. Okay, hold on. All right. It's that times 3 when talking to somebody in a fucking heavily trafficked area.
Jesus, man. Yeah. And to think I was actually considering doing that shit.
Were you really? Don't do it.
If anybody tells me, hey, can you stay here for a quick second and do some errands?
Okay.
I'll say, fuck you, I'm not doing that, and that's the ride.
Oh, he got hit right in the dick.
No.
Oh.
You should be an announcer. He got hit right in the dick. Good God Almighty, in the